Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, you guys are, one step closer to what you want to do. Or if not, it's okay. But as long as you're daily, making it, how you say, making it happen on a daily basis, figuring out your plan, the execution and how to go about it and things like that. So, all right, good, good. So on that note, I wanna talk about something that will probably help most of you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve later on. So the title of this video is going to be how to have a boss mentality. I mean, you could consider it like maybe it could be boss or it could be entrepreneur, whatever it is, but this particular title is going to be I'm going to use boss. So how to have a boss mentality. All right, let's get right to it. So, all right, look around you. So, like, I mean, how many successful people that like currently that, that own their own business or they simply, I mean, may not necessarily own their own business, on their own business, but they could be at a high position in a company, in some sort of higher management, things like that, and no, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, they don't just get there just by by a pretty face or anything. I mean that that they work for it, that they separate themselves from the rest of the group, so things like that. So that's the kind of position that you want to be in, in order for you to take the next level. So so when I say boss, like what I mean, like somebody, obviously somebody in charge, somebody in charge, of a group or of a team, you know depending, could be like 5, 10, even 20 people, so even higher depending. But see, that comes with with time, experience, and leadership skills. So that people, all that comes with with time. So what I say, so when I say how do you have how do you get a boss mentality, how do you build that. So I'll give you some tips, you know that's helping me personally. So because we can't always be how you say, be content or be satisfied by what we have now. I mean, I'm not saying that like don't be happy with what you have. I'm just saying that don't be content. Always go for more. Want more. And for some of you that are happy doing what you're doing, then that's completely fine. That's a personal thing, and I respect it. But no, but in general, you want to always have a has do more, because remember, because we are here, we are here on this earth temporarily, because as you can see, human beings, they don't live as long, as other species or animals or whatever. So it's very important that we maximize our potential, and just be curious enough to see that how far we can go, and by the looks of it, and most of you already know, you have people that have accomplished wonders, like some in a short period of time, and some like over the course of the years of their life. So hopefully with these tips, you'll be able to do that as well. So so one of the tips I could say that could help you get that get that boss mentality is by, first of all, you need to think outside the box. So you can't go by what the other guy is doing or whoever, right? You gotta be unique. You gotta think uniquely. You gotta see the bigger picture, and you gotta figure out what is the best way to get this from one place to this place, or whatever the case may be. So some of these things, you might end up spending a few bucks here and there, but that's fine. But you can find a way to do it, with less, by spending less and less, and actually, like blowing your whole budget or whatever. Then that's even better. So that's one thing. Thinking outside the box. How, like, seeing what others don't. Because, like, for example, you have somebody that's doing this and that. But if But if that person is doing the same thing as this other person is doing, or this other person is doing, then eventually, then you're not gonna get much, because right away you get, yes, the same exact idea is out there, and only one of them could make it, could take the idea to the next level. Not all three of you, or whatever. So that's one thing. You gotta think outside the box, think creatively, be unique. Be unique in your approach. You know, set your own standards. Figure out how far you want to go with it. Like start planning. Share ideas. Like learn. Also, another important key here: learn how to deal with people. Okay, talk to people. Learn how to deal with them. Like, train yourself to deal with people in all walks of life, different personalities, different mentalities as well, because all this comes into play as well. So that also, in my opinion, think that it will also help you as well, like dealing with people. Because remember, because business is generated through people. So without people, then you have no business, because people are the most, obviously, who bring the income, purchase products, or purchase, whatever, even image, even your own self, that it takes other people to notice it, to see it, to see it. So that's what I'm saying. Building a great relationship with people in general is what's gonna get you like a milestone. Like, it'll be like, you go miles and miles away. So that's another important key, and actually that's probably one of the first things that should be in there. So building a good relationship with people, understanding what they want, what they need, and understanding also where they want to go with what they want. How far they want to go. That's another thing also. So that goes toe to toe with thinking outside the box. Be unique. Think creatively. Like, don't do what everybody else does. Things of that nature. So I put that in probably the same category there. And next thing that I will say is have a proper way of speaking to people. Like choosing your words carefully. Okay, be professional. Don't bring none of that. Like street talk, or what the way how you converse with your friends. You say your old school friends. Because remember, see, nothing you gotta also understand. When you deal with people with all walks of life, that you also deal with people that who probably can't, probably could be come across, maybe an aggressive side, or timid or whatever. So you gotta learn how to deal with that. Just try, how to work a way around that, and just pretty much just figure out how to talk to them. So that's what I mentioned. How to talk to people, but also yourself as well. That you should be able to express yourself professionally, intelligently. Use proper words. Proper vocabulary. Things of that nature, and that will definitely be a good essence right there to the whole lot there. And another thing I want to also mention here. And as usual, as I say in most of my videos, be humble. With all of that, add humility to that as well. Because remember, you can't be, you can't be aggressive. You can't be, also like or thinking that you're, more than the next guy, or even if you do, but don't show it. Be, like I said, be subtle with it. Be a bit of humility also goes a long way. So just be nice, respectful, and all that stuff. I'm sure you guys already know. This is nothing new. But it says people sometimes, they forget the very, very little things, important things that which could take you up there. So that's why I'm bringing it up here. And let's see what else I have for you guys. Pretty much, just do the things that I'm telling you here, from the beginning, and of course, be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not, or don't create a fictional story, that you know that you yourself know that you never been through it, in your life. Or just be yourself, be honest, you know, only talk about your life experiences. Don't like I said, don't make anything up. Don't pretend to be someone you're not, because sooner or later people will find out what they're gonna figure you out, and trust me, that's the probably the worst thing you want to do, because otherwise you're gonna be known as that guy, the guy who lied about himself. So you don't want to be that. You want to always be, be truthful as all the time. Okay, be humble, be yourself, and when I say be yourself, like not only in the business world, but also in your personal life. Let's say you meet somebody, or you're on a date, whatever. So just be yourself. Be you. You are who you are. Okay, just keep doing that. Trust me. People will actually respect you more if you do that, rather than like be someone else, or try to hide within your shell there. So come out of the shell. Just be yourself. That's about it. So. And let's see. There's another thing I want to mention here. Let's see. As far as, oh yes, there's probably one more, or a couple more actually. Always, always, always. Okay, work hard. Like, and it's one thing sometimes people may try to like go around or bypass or whatever it is, but working hard is still a thing these days. Okay, you can't accomplish something just by taking the easy way, or taking the easy route or shortcut. Okay, you need to work hard also. That's also one of the big things. Okay, if you work hard, but steady, but knowing exactly what you want to do, having a plan, all that stuff. Everything that I mentioned before. Okay, that also helping get that. You think about it, all bosses nowadays, every boss out there, even now or back then, that's one thing in common, is that they worked hard to get to where they reached at that point. Okay, you gotta work hard. You gotta be be resilient. Sometimes life happens. You think it might push you back, but that should always be a continuous motivation to keep going. Okay, so definitely hard working is definitely a big contributor factor to your success. Assuming that you have the other stuff already planned out as well. So that's no point. I'm seeing one more here before I wrap up this video. What else? And yes, one final thing, and that is love. You need to love what you're about to do. What I mean by this, I'll tell you right now. Don't do something that like I said, others are doing. So if you see that one thing is popular, or and everybody else is doing it, because they know it's the next thing that's gonna make money, or whatever the case may be, trust me. Now, if you want to go and do it, whatever, that's your thing, but at the same time, if you're not really passionate about it, like you really know, say if you know nothing about that thing, or that business trend that's happening, then don't do it, because at the end of the day, remember whatever you want to do in life, you want to do it for as long as you can, So which means that you need to be passionate about that particular thing that you're doing, which is the reason why you're doing it in the first place. Okay, because you can't do something just for the sake of because it's gonna make money in the future or whatever. But the passion is not there, the love is not there, So which means that yes, at the beginning you'll do it, you'll figure it out and all that stuff. But in the long run, you're gonna feel out of love out of it, and you won't no longer feel the same passion as you did in the beginning. That's not what you want. You want something that you're gonna be passionate about for the rest of your life, or at least for a very long time, So that way you could look back, or even tell your kids about it, or whoever, just say you can say to them, hey man, look, I built this from the beginning. I love it. I still do. So just like that. You don't want to say, oh, I did it. I liked it at the beginning, but then kind of got bored, whatever. So so you definitely don't want to say that. You always want to be, you always want to love what you do for as long as possible, even the rest of your life. So this, in my opinion, I think that's another important factor also that's gonna make the other stuff work. Just like I said, you need to love what you do. Okay, and you need to do it in the most respectful way. Be humble about it. And that's how you do it. And also, sorry, one more thing. With the part, also another important factor here that also is going to work is you need to learn how to help others. Okay, you need to help others. Well, you can't be selfish. You can't be no, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm not gonna help nobody because whatever, because I don't want people seeing my ideas, blah blah blah. Listen. Nowadays we live in an era of networking. Okay. So those who don't know what that means, networking is association with by people, doing business with other people. Engaging other people in whatever it is that's happening. That's networking. It's building. Like I said, talking to different people and sharing ideas. Or ambitions or whatever. Okay, so if you're not helping the person, then so that could be the one thing that can hold you back, because sometimes because remember the person you're dealing with, sometimes you don't know what they know, so you don't know if their ideas can actually help you or help each other. Get ahead. Get your project or business to the next level. So that's what I said. But even in general, guys, you just gotta learn how to help people, help them. They say if you help somebody get to what they want to get, eventually you're gonna get to what you want to get just by doing that alone. Because remember, it's karma, spreading good energy, positive energy, all that stuff. So that's definitely a key essential also to the other stuff. So there you have it. That's all the tips I have. I don't know how many that was, but I'm sure you can count it. So yeah, hopefully that's helped. Hopefully you incorporate these tips in your life, in your goals, plans, good dreams. So, and yeah, that's about it. So that's all I gotta say about it. So hopefully you guys learn something from this. Hopefully you guys will take note. Try some of this stuff. And for whatever reason you feel that doesn't help you. But which I think it will. Just no, apologize, but I'm just telling you what I think personally, and also what I've heard from other people who are also trying to do their own thing. So they tell me, like I said, I'm a people person. I always like talking to other people. So I talk to people almost like literally every day. So so they tell me their stories. So I tell them my story. I tell them what I want to do. So so that's all it is. That's how that's called networking. Networking with people. So yeah, just keep doing that. Follow these tips here. I'm sure one of them will help you, if not all of them. So and let me know in the comments down below if it's like which idea worked the most on you, was the most helpful. I appreciate the feedback. And if you want me to get into something more, in the specifics, let me know as well. Pretty much let me know whatever that you want to know. Just let me know. I'm always free to talk about whatever also you guys want me to talk about. So all right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I appreciate it if you could hit the just hit the like button, subscribe, and share if you like, to anybody who you think my could use this information, be helpful for them. Just definitely share this video, right to them. And of course, always be appreciated, And like I said, if you want me to talk about anything, any topic, or whatever it is, let me know, and I'll do my best, to give you a very, very, deep, intelligent, detailed, advice or whatever. So all right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.